What are the odds that this will fill me up for breakfast? This is some spinach sauteed in a little bit of water, or steamed, I should say, in a little bit of water with some garlic and chives, and the usual suspects. A little bit of salt, stuff like that. That's breakfast today, darlings. All right, so this is my breakfast this morning. um, yes, so it's 2 eggs. And it's my spinach concoction with this like pate of, I think it's like pork, right? Which I said no meat for the entire month of October. So I lied. I fell off the wagon, so sue me. Okay, so happy Sunday to you. I don't think the light is really fabulous. But okay, so we're going to start this project with some olive oil. Which, okay, yes, I know. I said I'm not using any oil for the entire month of October. But I'm making onion soup. I I have made onion soup before, but I don't make onion soup very often. Perhaps I've made onion soup maybe twice in my life. Okay, I don't have a recipe. I'm just making it up as I go along. So first step is some olive oil. All right, so melt some butter in the oil. Okay, then we're going to pour this onion in very slowly. Ah! My space is very, very small. It's the one thing. I love my little kitchen, but it's got no margin for, whatever. It's very small. But I'm not complaining. So you put this in, right? And you leave it in for about, until they've wilted. So you're talking about, okay, so this one needs to come out. It needs to be properly skinned. Okay. So you leave this in, right, for about 20 minutes or so, right? 20, 25 minutes or longer until they wilter. You cover it. Okay, so we're going to put these two cubes, what are they called? Brouillon cubes into this and let it just sort of like melt while we wait for the onions to, what is the word? We're waiting for the onions to to get really soft, whatever the word is for that in English. I have no idea. So now I'm going to put these cubes in the water. Okay, so I'm going to just let the sit there and sort of melt, and then I'm going to put the bay leaves and the thyme in it and let it sit there and sort of soak each other up while we wait for the onions to wilter, to come to ebullition. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not a cook, okay? And I never told anybody I'm a cook. I just like to be in the kitchen, just, creating a mess. I like to create a mess in the kitchen, okay? So there you go. So these are like sort of chicken related poultry related cubes, okay, that I've put in here, and I'm letting it melt and do its little thing, and then we're still waiting on this puppy over here to welter, okay? So try to avoid the onions burning, you know, so I guess, you know, keep sort of stirring so that the onions don't like burn. We don't want them to burn. We just want them to get really nice and soft and well cooked and soak up all the butter and so on and so forth. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to add my broth, which is not really broth. I mean, this is just it is broth, but it's not like a store-bought broth, if you will. It's just 2 bouillon cubes, which I melted in some warm water, and which I well, somewhat melted. Some of it is left here, so we'll just like let it melt in the actual pot. Sorry. And we have the bay leaves and the thyme, and we're going to let this simmer for another 20 minutes or so until it starts to look like something that makes some sense. Right? Remember, this is not strictly speaking French onion soup, even though I probably will call it French onion soup. This is really onion soup a la Marion. Okay? Marion. That's me. Okay? Because I do my own thing. I don't really follow recipes, but in theory, you know, French onion soup has very specific ingredients and specific steps, and you know, I'm doing my own thing. Okay, so now I'm going to put some white wine into the concoction, because this is a concoction. It's actually very delicious already, so I'm always like hesitant to continue on because I don't want to ruin it, but I want to put some wine, some white wine, and then I want to put some cream in it. So this could go south. This could go south because it's already just, you would not believe how delicious these onions are. I've never had such delicious onions in my life. I mean, these are the puppies. They're so delicious. I think that's enough, right? I mean, way to ruin a perfectly good onion soup, Marion. This is not, it's quite inexpensive. Duc de Castellac. It's a very, very inexpensive white wine. Inexpensive in France, maybe in a different country could be quite expensive because wine here is just ridiculously expensive. I don't know how everybody's not an alcoholic. This is like 2 tablespoons of flour, right? So I'm just like mixing this up in my little bowl. This is not a bowl, my little pot. My sorcerer's pot. The sorcerer with the copper pot. What is she brewing? And so this is like 2 tablespoons of white flour. Okay, so you're gonna throw this in very slowly and mix. But I have to put the phone down because, you know, I just can't do it all. You know, I only have 2 hands. Okay, but you're gonna slowly pour it in like so. Oh my god, I can't, because I need my left hand. Let me see if I can switch this around. Switch hands here. I'm a lefty, baby. And I have very little space also, so it's just like, oh my god, right? Okay, so watch me drop the phone in the soup. I'm always like afraid I'm going to drop my phone into very bad places. Once I dropped my glasses into the toilet, I was like trying to flush the toilet. This is not the time to talk about that. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Okay, so now I'm going to scoop some thick cream into the concoction. It's like a scientific project. I don't know if it's going to be edible. I don't, right? I'm just making this up as I go along. But I'm going to scoop this puppy in here, and then I'm going to you know, stir gently because, you know, cream can sometimes curdle or whatever you call it. So we're going to try to avoid that, right? And so be very gentle with it. And voila. And if it curdles a little bit, we're not going to talk about it. Okay, we're just not going to talk about it. And then you wash your little cup and you put it back. And so now I have to gently stir this. And I'm terrified. I think it still looks good, right? It smells really good and it tastes even better. I mean, it's really amazing. But now I have to do the last step. I'm going to melt this cheese with some bread, and then we will serve the soup. These are really biscottes, right? Is it biscott or biscotti? They're biscottes. Biscott, okay. Normally you would use bread and you'd put it in the oven, but you know, for me, ovens are very complicated things. You know, I only use the oven if I absolutely must. You know what I mean? So I'm just letting it melt on the cheese. Then I will turn them over, you know, the cheese and the butter, and then I will put it on top of the soup and it will be time to eat. We're going to top the soup with these sort of melted cheese on top of biscotti thingies. Okay, so my soup is ready. And no, it hasn't curdled. So let's see what we do here. We've got to take this beautiful wooden spoon and scoop it out without making a mess. Now that could be trouble. Okay, that could be trouble. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. This is going to be my dinner tonight. I don't know what you call it. I'm going to call it French onion soup à la Marion, parce que it's not really French onion soup. I mean, it's really me sort of improvising and doing my own thing as per usual. Okay, so bon appetit to me. I'm really like loving the concept. I can't even tell you. Forgive me, but there are 2 words for this. And it's not, oh my God, that's 3. I think I won't say it. You know why? Girl. I won't say it because I think it's uncouth. I think it's unladylike, and I think I need to stop cussing. But this brings on the F word. No, really, this brings on the F word. Oh yeah. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. But you know what? I mean, in theory, it's really only 3 onions.